folks, welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Welcome, friend. Looks like we're live again.
Live and kicking.
Okay, well, we got an exciting show for you tonight, so we're just going to get right into it. So remember, folks, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Treasure Talk guests and members belong solely to the guests and members and not necessarily to Myers Metal Detectors, Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, or Jeff Monan. And the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And today's show is going to be an awesome one because it's all about the adventure. So
Ain't that the truth? That is the truth. So this is one we've been waiting for. I think y'all are really going to enjoy it. We thought the timing was really ready for this as the country comes back to life. More and more things are starting to happen. Everybody's itching to get out and do some digging. So this is the premier event in the country right now for digging. And it's not called Digstock for nothing. You know, if you're old like me, you remember Woodstock. Well, this is Digstock. So, you know, by the time we get to Digstock, we're going to be 50 million strong, I'm going to tell you. Tonight with us is Peter Sorrell, one of the organizers of Digstock. He's going to tell us all about it. And we have a great giveaway tonight. They've been nice enough to give us a full weekend pass to give away to one lucky winner tonight. So you have to be tuned in to win. And this is going to be a great, great show. So I'm going to introduce Peter Sorrell, the organizer of Digstock. Here he is. There you go. Hey, Pete, how are you?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you?
We're good. We're good.
We're awesome. And Jeff, just make sure we're live on Facebook. Are we there, Josh? You see us? It looks like we are.
We are.
Yes, we are. Awesome. So,
Excellent.
Pete, we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got a list of questions, and then I got a list of my own questions, and people will feed them to Jocelyn. She's on Facebook, and Jeff is on YouTube. So we're going to bombard you with questions. First,
Sounds great.
Yeah. First, let's just tell everybody where you're at and where's the hunt going to be at, if you can reveal that.
Yeah, I can. So, well, I can give you a basic understanding of where we're going to be. So I'm based in upstate New York. That's where I was born and raised. I've been detecting for 10 years up here. It's a beautiful area, very historic. And so the town that we're going to have Digstock in is called Shazy, New York. Shazy. Everybody has a different name for it when they see it written down, but it's pronounced Shazy. And that's where the event will be held on a farm right up in rural New York State, almost as far up in New York State as you can get without getting into Canada. So at that point, when you get here, you'll only be about 15 miles, 20 miles from the Canadian border.
Okay. So
That'll be good, won't it, Phil? If they get the border open, then the digging Canuck will show up at Digstock.
For sure.
So, hey, digging Canuck, remember, you got to go. If the borders are open, you got to be there.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, she's a regular on the show and super nice lady, an excellent hunter. And I hope she can go there. I miss all my Canadian customers. I, of course, have a metal detecting shop here in Tampa, and every January we get flooded with them coming down and wanting to go detecting and buy gear and everything else. And this year and last year, we haven't seen them. So we look forward to seeing some Canadians again.
That'd be good for us as well. We're excited. We have a really good, strong relationship with the Canadian detectorists, and we already invited a bunch of them last year. And hopefully, as long as the border opens, we'll have a couple of really special guests. Hopefully, Digging Canuck can join us. Relic Dirty Hands, that group there. So there's a bunch of great folks and even a couple of companies that out of Canada that we'd like to be present at the event too. So
Absolutely, like Anderson Detective.
Anderson Shafts, yep.
Yes.
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, he's a good friend of the show.
Yes, we have one a couple times a year. Okay, well, tell us how many acres are involved in the hunt site.
Okay, so we're hoping to have 2,000 plus. We're finalizing the maps this week. Actually, a lot of stuff is coming this week. A lot of finalizations. I've got a couple of calls with our sponsors, Mine Lab, Kelly Co. Just this coming week. So just a lot of finalizations will be here. So it'll be at least 2,000, but possibly up to 3,000. So we'll have an accurate number by the end of the week.
Okay. So how do the people get around on all that acreage? They just by foot?
Well, so I mean, most hunts you go to, it is by foot, but we wanted to do something a little different. So we're going to provide a shuttle. It's just basically a tractor with a wagon on the back, and we're going to bring people to the perimeter of the close fields. Some of the fields will be accessible just by vehicle because they're not all attached together. So we'll have designated parking areas at each of those different fields as well if somebody wants to go out to those. So we're going to try and make it. This is I've been to many hunts, like the ones in the UK, Detectival, which is a great hunt to go to, but it's all by foot. But we know that there's a lot of detectorists that can't get around that well or that easily, and we kind of wanted to make it a little bit simpler and easy to get around. So we're providing a shuttle around to the main fields. And if the field is a little bit farther out, you should be able to drive your vehicle right to it, park, and get out and hunt.
Oh, absolutely. That's cool. That makes it easy for people who are disabled and can't do all that walking.
Yeah, it'll be, we'll run it on a schedule, once an hour or something. We'll go around to certain designated areas around the property and pick people up and bring them back to the main event area.
And did you give us the date of the event?
Oh, no, it's actually October 8th to the 11th, 2021, which is Columbus Day weekend.
Columbus Day weekend. And is there an alternate date if the weather isn't permitted or if COVID comes back? Or
So we've decided this is a rain or shine event. As detectors, we all know that the weather isn't always cooperative, but we do our best to put these things into place. The problem is there's so much planning that goes into it, so many sponsors, so many other businesses that we have involved. It's hard for us to plan an alternate date if something were to happen, especially with weather. But as far as COVID, we actually ran an event in early March in North Carolina. COVID was still present, obviously. It's still present now. But we mitigated that with a lot of safety precautions and everything. And we had over 300 guests at that event, and it went off without a hitch. And so we are better prepared if something were to come up. We would definitely have a really good idea of how to make it as safe as possible for everybody that attended.
Awesome. So you've been down this road before and you got some experience.
Yep.
Hey, before we keep going with that, we did just get one question in on Facebook, and they're asking, and I already know the answer to this, but they're asking, are you doing a seated hunt there also?
We are, and it's kind of a special seated hunt. So we are actually opening it up for 2 hours on Saturday, and then Saturday night we're going to actually reseed more stuff out there, and then on Sunday it's going to be open all day. So basically from the time we'll pick a time, maybe 9 a.m. We haven't confirmed the schedule yet, but once that opens up, it's open up all day. We're going to have we've got silver coins, gold, we've got relics, we've got all kinds of crazy things, Civil War bullets, buttons. We created our own prize tokens. I wish I had one with me to show you, that are numbered. And so all of our sponsors give us prizes. A lot of times we'll take a prize, we'll designate a number to that prize. We'll put that token out there. Somebody finds that token, they can come in, redeem it for a prize. We have, for prizes, we have 2 real coins, we have colonial coins, we have little relic cases. machines, accessories, you name it, we've got it. So it's going to be, you're going to walk away. Right now, I can't even tell you how many targets that we have, but I have a feeling that most people are going to walk away with a handful of stuff. So some really great things.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the hunt there. What type of equipment, digging tools, that kind of thing, are they permitted to use?
So basically anything that you want to use, any sort of digging equipment you normally use, your shovels, your hand diggers, anything like that is fair game. As with, the Lesh, that's perfect. We use those, And the fields are plowed every year, so the ground it's kind of a clay, so it's a little hard. October, hopefully by then we've got a little bit of rain. You can use those too. For sure. And so we recommend having a big long shovel as well as a hand digger if you want to kind of get into the holes a little bit easier. But most stuff isn't going to be terribly deep because, like I said, every year the stuff is tilled up. I mean, that doesn't mean that there won't be some deep targets for sure, but I would imagine everything is going to be in the probably 6 to 8 inch range. Who knows? I can't tell you for sure, but it's tilled every year. So we're going to be mostly on cornfields, some hay fields, and I believe some alfalfa fields and soybean fields. So we got a wide range of different conditions out there.
So definitely bring your Excalibur shovel.
For sure.
I was just showing that off. We started carrying the Excalibur shovels in the shop.
Excellent.
People seem to love them because I think we got 9 in and they went in 2 weeks. So we got our next order coming in here soon. I hope so. Anyway, Casey, and that's what I use when I relic hunt. I use a long handled shovel, and I like that one because I'm tall and it's 40 inches long, so it makes it.
It certainly makes it easier. I personally am a big shovel guy too, so
it makes it easy to get the target, and you're not bending down using a 31 inch shovel, and it just makes it easy for me. And then, of course, when you got your shovel, you better have one of these guys, right?
A pinpointer for sure. Yes. Yep.
So I never use a pinpointer on the beach. I have friends who do. The only time I use my pinpointer is when I'm out there in the dirt digging, because half the time you got sweat in your eyes and you can't see the black coin and the black dirt, and that pinpointer right on it. So, folks, you need a good shovel, hand digger, and you need pinpointers. Now, I saw on your website, on your picture, you're wearing a backpack. Now, do you carry a backpack when you're doing these hunts?
I usually do, and we actually suggest people, if they're going to be out in the middle of nowhere, or if they're going to be walking the entire time, we suggest people, we actually will provide a list for people just before the event of items we think you should bring, or recommended things. You don't have to bring a backpack if you don't want to, but I'm, especially on these big, large fields, which some are 700 acres alone. So it's a big, long space to get across. And that field may not be very close to your vehicle or anything like that. So I would suggest if you have a small backpack, a fanny pack, anything like that, it's perfect. Just put a couple of snacks in there, a bottle of water or two, extra batteries, anything. Yeah, really. Yeah, that's the XP backpack. That's my favorite one. You can get just about anywhere with that thing.
You can get just about anything you want in it too.
You sure can. So I'm an XP user, so I definitely appreciate what they did with that backpack. So, but yeah, we would suggest a small backpack. It doesn't matter what it is. Snacks, like I said, we will provide a map. We're doing something a little bit different with our maps too. We'll have a QR code, if you know what a QR code is. We will have that accessible right at our front desk, and you can just take a picture of that, and it'll actually bring you to a link, and our map will be downloaded right onto your phone, so you can actually find where you're going and what fields you're in. So,
absolutely. So bring a backpack if you're going to be taking the hike across 700 acres. You want to have your backpack filled.
You certainly do. You want all the amenities in there. Maybe some toilet paper too, just in case.
First aid kit too would be advised.
First aid kit. Yep. We will have a medical staff on site, and they will have. Our team will be roving around the property the entire time, taking pictures of finds, talking to people. that's what we like to do, is trying to get out there and talk to everybody and see how everyone's doing, see some of the great stuff that's being dug up. And also for safety purposes, we do have a medical team that rides around on a gator. We provide a phone number that you can call, and if something happens, they'll be right out there. The nice thing is we're pretty close to town too. The local fire department ambulance is a couple miles away, not even.
I had a request for Crystal wanted to see the backpack, the XP backpack.
It's great. It's
It is
great.
actually-
Killer backpack.
It's the best of all the brands. I don't mean to be partial to one brand. That one, it's tops of all of them.
I've used a lot, and that one is probably the most complete one that I've ever used. And, and it's made specifically for XPs, but I've carried just about everything in it. So I've had a lot of different machines. As long as you can break them down just enough, even if it's sticking out the top, it's still tops in my book.
Oh, it is.
I'm taking mine to England in September, hopefully.
Yeah, it also comes with the fines pouch. Which
The little fines pouch, yep, which I use every day, every time.
this is a Garrett fines pouch,
Yep,
the common one, but you need to have a fines pouch too.
for
besides
sure.
the backpack. So
I'll show you mine.
when you have all those relics and coins and everything, you can put them right in there. It just makes it easier. For years, when I relic hunted, I used one of these, but I stepped up to the better fines pouch.
Yeah, there Jeff's got his XP one. I use that one all the time.
Yeah.
And personally, and just a heads up, we will have buckets posted around the fields as well for your garbage and trash, your metal trash. We didn't do that in the past, but we found out that it's a big help for everybody. It's something they do in the UK, and we felt that was a great idea. That was something somebody had put to us. That's one difference between a lot of hunts I've been to, and what we do is we listen to everybody. So after an event, we send out a little questionnaire, seeing what everybody liked or disliked, and we try to improve upon every event we do. So that was a suggestion that somebody had put out there, and we're definitely going to put that into play.
Absolutely. And folks, remember, before you throw something into that bucket, make sure it's trash. Make sure
I wish I could tell you how many pounds of metal that we discarded at the last one, but I can tell you it was probably 6 full 55-gallon drums full or garbage cans full. It was a lot. It was a lot. We spent a whole probably 5 or 6 hours going around picking all those up. So
Absolutely. But when I got started relic hunting, I threw away some things that weren't trash. So that's why I was saying, make sure you know it's trash before you.
for
throw it.
sure.
They want to know what that sells for.
And people keep asking me about that backpack. Do I have to put it on the screen again? That backpack is,
Somebody said 149.
I think it's $149 on that backpack. But it
And
comes
it's worth
with,
every cent.
and it
It's worth every penny.
comes with the fines pouch too, and that's
Yep.
probably worth another $40 for that.
Yeah, John said it's 179. So he's going to
That's
be
it's a
happy.
bargain at
That's a
149.
bargain.
All right, so let's keep going with my questions here. I got a question. The price of the event.
Yep. So we wanted this event to be as affordable as possible for most people, and we know a lot of people have families and stuff, and every event is different. So the one we did in the spring was $250, I believe, was the price, or $225. But this one's much more accessible. This is something that we're going to do every 2 years. This really big event, and so the price is $150 plus the fees. It's $154 something. I can't remember the exact number.
154 and change.
And change. Yep.
There we go.
Joe Busy says come see him at Myers.
Oh,
Sure.
yes, Joe. That's the gentleman who works with me, my good friend. He's come see the backpack at Myers Metal Detectors.
There you go.
So yes, a nice day at Backpack. You can see it in person there. And as Jeff has said, it's awesome also. Both Pete and Jeff love that backpack. So
We sure
got-
do.
we
That's
got
a really good
backpack.
admission price, Pete, for what you get for a full weekend.
Yeah, see, and that was something I've been to a lot of hunts where I've paid money for, and I felt like it was overpriced, and so that's why we provide as much as we do. Some places will charge an upcharge for certain things. If you wanted to do the seated hunt, it was an extra $20 or whatever. But this, we're not trying to do any sort of money grab. We're really trying to put on a good event. So if we sell out all the tickets, more of that money goes into the event. And that's what we've been doing, is slowly purchasing things as we get more tickets sold, just buying more stuff for the seated hunt and stuff like that. So everything we do is trying to improve upon the hunt. So that ticket price goes directly into what we put in. So that's what our hope is, to continue to do that for future events as well. So that's where we're at right now.
Well, that's awesome, because I know with the seated hunt, some people like myself aren't big on doing the seated hunts. So you
I know.
the natural hunt and the seated hunt at the same place. So that's awesome. And you said the history of the property goes back to Revolutionary War time period?
Actually, the first record of people on the property dates back to the 1600s. Almost directly across from the property that we're on is an island in Vermont called Isle La Motte. And the French had a fort there in 1649, I believe. And they were traveling across the lake to the mainland. And the town is actually named after a French captain, Lieutenant de Chazy, who was killed by Native Americans right at the mouth of the river, which is where our hunt takes place. So, and that was in 1666. So I do know that some kettle points were found in the past in that area. So, I mean, those date back mostly to that time period. So that's trade period, which is pretty amazing. So that stuff is probably few and far between, but it's a lot of acreage to get across. So yeah, it starts in the 1600s and goes all the way up until, modern times. But all of the buildings that were on the property that we know of were all gone by the 30s, I believe. I don't think anything lasted past that. There's probably, I can't even tell you how many buildings and mills and everything else was on there.
Okay, so the people can expect to find all different types of
different eras. Some of the places were, occupied from probably colonial times all the way up until the 30s. And then some places were only there for 10, 15 years. I can tell you just in the area, walking along the rivers and creeks in fields, I found sites that weren't on any maps. And you can expect that will be even the same here. Also, one amazing thing and one incredible thing is we have so much history that it's strife. There was a lot of where we were located. It was a very important place in America, especially during colonial times and up into the War of 1812 era. So during the Revolutionary War, obviously Canada was just above New York State. And so they traveled from Montreal, which is north of where we are, down to the south to attack the American armies. And so Lake Champlain was a very strategic area. And Burgoyne's army actually camped north of our site. And we're very confident that their troops ventured out into the properties that we have on our docket. So and then as well, during the War of 1812, when the British, again, were trying to get rid of us or take it back, they also came down. And so what happened was Chazy is halfway between the city of Plattsburgh, which is the strategic city, and the Canadian border. So troops from the British and the American armies would go to Chazy, camp for the night, camp a couple days, somewhere between 300 to a couple thousand troops each time. From 1812 to 1814, they were moving back and forth from the Canadian border to Plattsburgh, and Chazy was a stopping off point. So there's a very good possibility. I know War of 1812 stuff has been found in these fields before, and I actually stumbled upon an undocumented camp last year or the year before, as I was walking the fields talking with the farmer. So we didn't take anything off it. We left it right there. So somebody's going to come upon it. We found musket balls and buttons on the surface. So it's pretty amazing to think that there's stuff like that still out there. And we really truly believe that if there's one, there's probably more. So lots of troops movement during that time period.
Absolutely. So they have a chance of finding Revolutionary War, War of 1812 time period, flat buttons, all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah, we had the last hunt that took place in the area. They found there was a Revolutionary War U.S. button found, a couple of British buttons found, War of 1812 artifacts, belt plates, you name it. Amazing stuff came up. So I have high confidence that that type of stuff will come up again.
all right. Well, we just got another question off of Facebook. Is there camping allowed there? Can you use a camper, or where?
So we were trying to do that. We tried to get a local farmer to do it. It's just with COVID being initially the problem, trying to get somebody to offer up a property for us to do it. And then a lot of the local farmers sometimes don't have their crops off the fields in time. We have a large chicken farm that's right nearby, and their crops sometimes don't come off until November when they're really dry. So we just weren't able to find a location to put camping right nearby. So what we've been directing people to is the beautiful state campgrounds around the area. Most are within 15 miles. There's a really nice one in Plattsburgh, New York called Cumberland Bay State Park. And we tell people to go there. It's actually their last weekend of the year. And if you're camping, I would highly suggest tents are very much going to be cold that time of year. So if you are camping, make sure you're properly prepared. The temperatures do sometimes dip into the 30s in the evening. So just be prepared for that.
Yeah, it's a little cold compared to us down here.
For sure.
So yeah, that will wake you up quick. So how about hotels close by? Do you have a list of those?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, we actually, I've been to many hunts in the past where it seems like I never could get enough information. So we wanted to be a little bit different in that respect. And when we created our website, for every hunt we do, we're going to do the same thing. If you go under Digstock 2021, basically any information you want about the hunt can be provided right there. You can buy your ticket, fill out your liability waiver, find a list of local hotels, where to eat, kind of interesting things to do. And once we get closer to the event, we'll actually have our schedule and, things to bring with you, a list of things to bring with you as well up on there. So we're working with a bunch of the local hotels to get discounted rates for multiple rooms at every hotel. I'm actually waiting on 3 contracts right now. So I'm hoping by the end of this coming week, we should be all set, and we'll be able to post a list of all the hotels that are participating with us. And I'll tell you this right now, all the local hotels are very excited to have everybody up here. And they said if they run out of rooms at a certain rate, there is a very good chance that they will still give you the rate, even if we run out of rooms at that rate. So as long as there's place available, they will try to help you out.
And Pete, will there be food at the hunt?
There certainly will be. We're hoping to have at least 3 food trucks on site. If not, at the very least, 2 very large food trucks that will be offering a variety of different items, some local delicacies. And I say that a little funny because, we live in the middle of America. But anyways, there are a couple local delicacies you'll be able to get there that you can't get anywhere else. And so we'll have 2 food trucks at least and a beer vendor as well.
Okay. Yeah. My wife is saying they're asking on Facebook real quietly, are there restrooms there?
That's okay. Don't be quiet about that. That's a great question. Yes, we will have porta potties on site. We're going to have the majority of them will be at the main hunt site, but we will try to provide a couple at the farther outposts of the main property. Now, if you go out to one of the far ones where you drive to, chances are we won't have porta potties out there, but anything that's within probably the main hunt area is what I would call. We have a large portion of fields that are interconnected. So amongst those fields, there will be 1 or 2 porta potties stationed at a strategic point in each of those fields. So probably around the same area where we'll do pickups and drop-offs and also have our trash buckets. So all of that stuff will be grouped up together in different spots.
Okay, cool. Jeff, did you have any questions? You're being quiet there, buddy.
Yeah, if let's just say somebody, attends the event and they forget something, will there be somebody there that can sell them what they need? Maybe a shovel or whatever, or if they have detector problems and need to buy a coil or anything like that?
For sure. So in the past, we tried to do that ourselves, but it's a lot of work. So this year we're teaming up with Kellyco to be our exclusive dealer of items on site for this year's event, and they will be on site with shovels, all the normal things that people either forget or don't have with them. We will also have a bunch of smaller vendors. Like Anderson shafts and stuff that will also be. I see. That will be
something, Pete.
that will be on site to provide some extras that maybe Kellyco won't be able to provide with us. But anyways, for the most part, yeah, just about anything you can think of, you should be able to buy on site, including new detectors if you decide to upgrade at the event. And we do have a bunch of smaller vendors, local, and also other vendors that may have something to do with our three core hobbies we do metal detecting, bottle digging, and magnet fishing. So there may be a magnet fishing sponsor there who will have a tent as well, selling that stuff. And then one great thing is if we wanted this event to be open to as many different skill levels as possible. So there's some folks who bring their detectors and literally it's the first time they've ever gone detecting. And that's great. And we're fine with that. We're good to help as much as we can. That's why our major sponsors, when they show up, they bring a lot of their special guests. They come, and then as well as if you just go up to their tent, a lot of them will have a little spot where a test field where you can test their products or test your own product against other products to see how they compare. And if you have any questions or you want some tips and tricks, I'm sure those guys are more than happy to help.
Yeah, I know that Naka Macro and Mind Lab and Garrett all normally set up a test garden.
Yeah, yep. And I just talked to DLEC last week, and she told me to say hello because she had just spoken with you guys, or she had just been on recently. And then I've got a conversation with Mind Lab on tomorrow, and then I've got a conversation with Kellyco on Wednesday. So our sponsors.
My competitor.
I'm sorry. Well, I'll just say this: all of our sponsors should be nailed down by the end of this week. We should have confirmation of everybody. All of that information will be up on our Facebook page as well as our main website. You'll be able to find all of our sponsors up on there as well. So we're gonna,
You'll have Fisher up there too, I'm sure. Probably.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. I just we had those guys down at our spring event. Russ Balberona and the guys came down. They had a great time. They really enjoyed themselves. I've got to see how the Fisher is really changing things up, and I really like the way that they're going now. Russ is doing a great job. I'm really happy to call him a friend and colleague. So it's great to have those guys on board as well. Yep, they'll definitely be there. For right now, I can tell you for sure we have Fisher, we have Garrett, and we have Nocta Macro. So we're just working on finishing up everybody else, and from there we'll let everybody know as soon as we know.
Yeah,
and everybody that comes from Florida here, or any of Phil's customers, if you get up there and you forgot something, call Phil. He'll overnight it to your hotel.
There you go. Even better.
So I guess you got to get, I guess, XP Deus. You got to get them on board.
Yeah, XP. We're still working on XP to get them up there. They had a conflict, but we're going to try and resolve that and get that figured out. Because we worked well with them in the past. I was on XP Team USA for a while. I just couldn't. I had too much on my plate. I had to say I step away for a little bit. So I think we'll definitely have some sort of representation from them going forward. But for sure, we try to get everybody involved as much as possible. We even invited a couple of international detecting companies. We'll see if anybody responds. But in this crazy year that we had, we weren't expecting much. So we'll see. You never know. We might get lucky. Some of these companies might be trying to break into the U.S. market, and it'd be nice for them to kind of come out and show, their products to a different audience.
Absolutely. So Pete, while we still have a little time here, I saw in your bio you started about 10 years ago with a Ace 250. Is that right?
That's right. The old banana yellow Ace 250. Yep, that was my first machine. I got into detecting. I was at college and I was on YouTube and I thought I typed in the word detective, and it came up detecting. And so all these videos popped up and I said to myself, this looks interesting. I love history. Let's check this out. I wasted the next 5 or 6 hours doing it, watching videos. And then probably a few weeks later, after making $7.25 an hour at my job, I saved up all my pennies and bought myself one of those beautiful banana yellow Garrett Ace 250s, and off I went.
And how long did you keep it? And how did you transition to the XP product?
So I love the Garrett products, and actually I started just basically bouncing around my college campus. Once I got permission to do so, I found enough change in the first year to buy an AT Pro. I had my AT Pro for about 2 or 3 years, and then I took a trip to England, and we went to a rally in England with some friends. And one of the gentlemen there had a brand new Deus, and he's like, "How about you take this for a spin?" And he let me use it for the day, which I was completely grateful and just flabbergasted that somebody would even, put an $1,800 machine in my hand and say, "Here you go, have fun." And so I fell in love. And that Christmas, I ended up with one under the tree, and I never looked back. I've used many machines since. I still have. I think detecting is good to have an arsenal of machines. Every one has its purpose. I use a MindLab Equinox 600 as well. I've got a couple of Fisher products that do well in different scenarios as well. Again, I'm not a one machine man. I kind of like the opportunity to use a little bit of everything because each one has its strengths and weaknesses, and it's nice to get out and try a different one every now and then.
Awesome. Yeah, I do the same thing. I use a lot of different detectors, and of course, I've got access to all of them. So don't tell my wife that, though. I've got quite a few. Anyway, we're going to have Fisher at the shop, folks. I just want to let everybody know, Jeff, that we're going to have Fisher at the shop for Fisher Days on July the 17th. Is that correct, Jeff?
That is the truth.
17th.
And I just got a notice today. They're sending a whole big box of swag in to me to bring down and give away.
So we're going to have them. We're excited about their new detector they've got coming out.
Yeah, that one's especially for you guys. That's going to be excellent.
Yes, for detecting gold really deep in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking forward to that.
I got one on order.
Yes, it was.
I do.
Well, we've got Russ is going to be here. He's going to be showing off the new Aqua Pulse detector.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably be going through all the Fisher line when he's here because we'll probably have most of them in stock, and it's going to be a nice event. We'll probably have food and drinks and a bunch of everything. So, and a bunch of swag the way Jeff just talked. So come out and see us on the 17th at the shop. It's going to be an awesome day. But let's get back to Pete. So Pete, you started with the Ace 250, and now you've got the XP Deus.
Mm-hmm.
How was the learning curve on the XP Deus?
It was, I'll tell you this, a lot of people will say it's a hard machine to learn, but it's like anything else. I think if you take the time to just take it out every day, learn its quirks and everything, the biggest thing I can impress upon people is when they buy the machine, the first thing they should do, instead of start going to change all the different settings you can, because you can basically make it start with one, use the manual, start with one program that you're comfortable with. And I started with Deus Fast. That was the first program I did. And what I did was I learned that program really well. And then from there, I went on to talk to Gary Blackwell, the XP guru in the UK, is a good friend of mine. And so basically, once I learned what everything did and how it worked, then I started making changes. But I would say get at least a couple hundred hours in one program you're really comfortable with, really learn what it's telling you, the nuances of everything that it does, and then basically go from there. If you want to start changing things, just make sure you know what each function does, because I've learned but the hard way, initially, that if you change one thing, it may not necessarily just change that one thing. It may change more than one thing in there without you noticing. And then when you do that, instead of gaining depth or separation or something, you may lose depth and separation because of that change you made. So I just say start with something that you're comfortable with. I really like Deus Fast if you're new to the machine, or the Hot program, which automatically comes on the machine now, are two of my favorites. The Hot machine is great in really irony sites. I think the Deus is top notch. I will say that the MindLab is great in sites where you need to pick something really deep, but I cannot find another machine that is just as picks out stuff in the middle of iron like that machine. I can get a nail and a penny a quarter of an inch apart and tell that there's two different targets there. And how fast that processor works is just incredible to me. So I'm not trying to push one or the other. I really like all the machines I use. And again, each one has its own purpose, but the Deus for me has always been my go-to.
Yeah.
What's our battle cry, Philip?
Pardon me?
What's our battle cry?
Tell me.
Read the manual.
Yeah, and I would say this with the XP, because it is it can be a complex machine if you don't take the time to learn it. Watch a bunch of YouTube videos, especially from guys like Gary Blackwell. Even though he's in the UK, he's a very smart individual and knows the machine inside and out. I trust his advice like no other for when it comes to that machine. And XP Team USA, those guys are great. They all live here in the United States. They use the machine every day. So if you have any questions, those guys as well are very good. They can help you with basically just about anything. If you have a question about the programs or anything like that, some of the guys even have their own programs, which work great. I've tried them out. But again, get the machine, read the manual, take one program, learn it well, then start making changes.
Yeah, the XP Deus, I have a lot of friends who use them who are relic hunters, and they just swear by them.
Yeah, I would say it's one of the best relic machines out there personally. And that's from someone who's used many of the different top brands. And again, I'm not shilling one over the other because each has its purpose. But I personally am a big fan of the old XP Deus. And then I wouldn't even discount the ORX either. So if somebody's looking to get into the XP brand, the ORX is a little bit cheaper. And all I can say is it's like a Deus Light. And when I say that, I use that term lightly because I've been out with someone using an ORX who is, once they learned how to wield it, was just as proficient as I was with my Deus and could still hit the same targets. Those little high frequency coils are killer. I'll tell you that for sure.
The 9x5, yeah, I sold that. Popular unit. And yes, read the manual. That's the most important part. And Jeff, you use the XP Deus. You love it?
I love the Deus. And I tell you what, that X35 9-inch coil is a magnificent coil.
It is. Yep, that's good. Yep, you get in those really irony spots or very, very trashy areas. That little 9-inch coil picks things out really nicely. Who knows? Maybe in the future, maybe XP will listen and we'll get a 5-inch or something. That'd be great. But for now, those coils do a lot that some coils can't. So
right. I always say use a smaller coil while you're relic hunting. It just that goes deep, but the separation is just awesome. And let's see here. Jeff, do we have a drawing coming up, or is that?
Yeah, in a couple minutes we will. Yep, I'm going to start the ticker.
Okay, no problem. I'll just keep going down my list. So for the folks who are watching, if you're going to this event, make sure you take a backpack, your pinpointers, which we have all this in the shop for you, but a shovel, hand digger, first aid kit, and what else did I miss? You're going to have food there. You'll probably have drinks there for
Yep. Yeah, basically anything that you'll need, we should be able to provide it at the event. We try to make the experience as best as we can for everyone. We can't please everybody, and that's true with anything we do or anybody does really. But when we say we put on a full service event, Our friend Butch Holcomb will tell you that he's been to many events in the 40 plus years he's been doing this. And he said one of ours is one of the best well-run ones he's ever seen. So as long as we can continue to do that and, give our customers good value on what we provide, we're happy to, keep improving and showing everyone that we can do this and do it right. So again, there's a lot of great hunts out there. I've been to many in my time, and we're just constantly always learning. I've gotten some great advice from Steve Moore from Garrett about how they run their Charles Garrett Memorial Hunt, and some of his ideas kind of helped us bring about some of the things we're doing. So, I mean, it's just, it's a great hobby. I love talking to people. In fact, if you see me at the event, I will be running around talking to as many people as possibly, as I possibly can. And I'm sure there'll be more people than I can talk to during the event, but I'm a people person. So if you see me, feel free to come up and say hi while you're there. I'll be happy to have a conversation if I've got the time.
Right.
Okay, we got some questions off YouTube as well. How many tickets are being sold and how many are still available?
All right. So we're selling a total of 600. So initially we were looking to do 1,000, but we are a quality over quantity type event. We don't want anybody to feel like we're crowding everybody in there and trying to get as much stuff as we can. We really want to have a quality event. So we limited it to 600 people. And future events may be bigger or smaller depending on the property. So we just want to make that clear that this isn't like a number we'll use every time. It's just the number we chose this year. 600 is what we have total. We have 200 tickets left, just under 200 actually.
And so they need to get up and get their ticket if
they will start to really sell. We found out that within the 2 months prior to the event, they will start to sell very fast. We sold out our last event probably 3 weeks before the event. So we were fully out of tickets 3 weeks before the event.
Well, make sure, Pete, if you would please, to keep us posted on the progress. Post everything on Treasure Talk, so the people can keep checking back and where to go to get the tickets and everything. So that way, make it easy as possible for them to spend their money.
For sure. We've had so far, I'll just tell you this, we have sold tickets to 38 different states and at least 2 different countries. So that's pretty exciting to know that we've got folks from all over the country. We have a huge group coming from Washington State, which is awesome. Big friends of ours and fans of ours and what we do, coming out with a huge group. And it seems like every time I put on an event, they invite more friends. So that's what we try to put on an enjoyable event. And if folks really enjoy what we do, we're going to try and do it for as many years as we possibly can. Keep getting those good sites. And we'll keep passing on those sites to everyone out there.
Okay, so what we're going to do, it's time for the giveaway, Philip, because we got about 12 minutes left. What we do, we had entries from Facebook and YouTube. I compiled them all into a random name picker. I've got the name right here with a couple of backups. They have to be present and tuned in to win. And you'll see along the ticker there, you'll see my phone number, Phil's phone number. If you're watching on Facebook, you can use Facebook Messenger. If you're a YouTuber, you got a text with your name that you were here, and you'll have 3 minutes from when I announce the name. Now,
all right, get ready.
If you are here and you win, you must email me your information, so I can get it to Pete. I'm not going to take any text on it. If you text me your information, you're not going to get the prize. That's the email right there, treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. I'm not going to keep your email or anything, but that's what we use. You email me your information, your name, address, phone number. I'll get it to Pete. He'll get you your ticket. That's the only way we accept it is email. So that being said, here we go. It is 7:49. And D. Antoinetta O'Brien, if you are watching, get up with us because you just won a weekend pass to Digstock.
Excellent.
So she's got 3 minutes to get a hold of us, right, Jeff?
Yep.
Nice.
7:52. We go with the next name.
Okay.
So I can just do a quick thing just to kind of give an idea of how the event's going to run. Would that be all right?
Sure.
Yeah, so Friday we have a meet and greet. We call it a 3.5 day event. So Friday we have a meet and greet, usually from about 4 to 7:30 p.m. If you show up, you can pre-register for the event, get all your information to us early, and you'll be all set up for Saturday morning. We'll also have special guests there on site. We're hoping to have a little presentation from either one or a couple of special guests at the event. You can go there. We should have food and drink, as well as special prizes that we're only giving away at the meet and greet. It's not mandatory. You don't have to be there. We realize a lot of people are traveling a long distance, but do your best if you want to get in on some of that fun. That's Friday night, probably starting around 4:30. So we will have that scheduled later in the year, and we'll post that up in a couple different places. Then Saturday, we start early, 7 a.m. I would say people start rolling in actually before 7 a.m. We will do a quick rundown of all the rules after everybody that needs to register is registered. And then we send everybody on their way. Then we will have a short time when you can actually go out to our seated hunt area. And then the rest of the day is a natural hunt. So we close that off. It's only open for 2 hours on Saturday. Then it's closed off until Sunday. Sunday morning, you basically come as early as the sun rises. You can get out there and start hunting. At noontime, we are going to give away all of our prizes that we have sold raffle tickets for throughout the weekend. So if somebody wants to leave early that night or earlier in that evening, they can do that without risking losing out on the prizes. And also the seated hunt will be open most of the day on Sunday. And then Monday is an open hunt day. Any of the corners of the big property that you weren't able to get to, that's the best day to do that.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just got a comment here. I got to tell William Larkins. He says, looks like I'll be making another trip to Myers for some more supplies.
Excellent.
William, so come on down and we'll get you set up so you can make the trip up to Digstock. And how we doing on our prize winner, Jeff?
Well, she didn't call. She didn't text. Well, she can't call. She didn't. No messenger or no text from D. Antoinette O'Brien. So right now.
Wait 1 second, Jeff. I'm just checking my phone just to be sure.
Okay.
And it looks like no.
Because I didn't.
I didn't get it.
All right, next one. Let's go.
Indiana Tones. If you are watching, Indiana Tones.
Indiana Tones.
Indiana Tones.
You got a ticket, dude. But you know what to do.
That's a YouTube name, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and it's a fairly well-known one. I probably know the person. I know quite a few of these great people out there in YouTube land. I myself am not a YouTuber, but I know quite a few of them and hunted with many of them.
Yeah, Lou is. He hunts in New York, I think. He calls himself Indiana Tones.
Yes, yeah. I believe he hunts in New York City area, down that way.
Yeah. So he's got 2 minutes to text or Facebook Messenger us. So yeah, Digging Canuck said he's from Staten Island. We can't hold that.
Staten Island. Oh, I knew it was somewhere in New York, down south. Yeah, we call ourselves upstate New Yorkers, but everybody thinks upstate New York ends at Albany. But there's a lot more state above that.
That's right. That's right. It's kind of like in The Godfather. It's Lou from Staten Island.
Hey, I got a couple comments I'll read here. Rose Fraser says, okay, she's ready to pack her bags. And
excellent.
Pam Shroud says, I need to go to Myers and get a new metal detector. Yes, you do.
There you go. There you go.
Also, Pete, if they get their ticket and something happens, they can't go, can they transfer it to somebody else?
They certainly can. Yep. All we ask is that you make sure that you contact us before you do that so we can get all their information set up. All they basically have to do is get in touch with me and we'll do our best to make sure we can get it transferred over to somebody else. We had a couple of people do that this year and we're perfectly happy to do that for anyone that has an issue like that.
Cool. Well, Indiana Tones, you got 1 minute left, man. And we ain't heard from you. So I got more names.
Somebody will win this ticket for sure.
Yeah.
At some point, we'll get somebody.
Well, I just got a text here.
John Brantley.
Louis DeFeo.
There we go.
Man, you are going to Digstock.
Excellent, excellent. We'll be happy to have you, man.
Yeah, so Louis, you know what I just did. You got to email me your info, your name, address, and phone number. Email it, treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. It's the only way I'm going to accept it.
There you
Get
go.
it to me, and we'll get it to Peter, and you'll get your ticket.
Yeah, that's
For sure.
That's a real easy rule to follow. So that's and then John Brantley just said, Phil, we'll help you out and get you set up with the new detector. Yes, I will.
Oh, yeah.
So you can be
And
silent.
everything else you need.
Yeah, these guys will hook you up. Listen, I'm a dealer myself. I know how all these things work, and I'm very happy to have these guys help you out and make your way up to Digstock. We're gonna have a good time. We call it a big party because it really is. And even some guys go out there and they may not find a darn thing, but I'll tell you what, everybody comes up to me after they said, you know what, I just had a blast. I got to meet so many great people. Everybody that comes to these events, they're like-minded. We all enjoy the hobby. We all enjoy history. You'll get to meet some of your YouTube favorites. Will show up at the event too, and we'll have a list of those guys coming up in the next month or so of who's going to show up. But those people you've always been excited to meet, well, you might get your opportunity here at the event. So it's going to be a great time. We have a children's area too. If you want to bring your kids up, we're going to have Nocta Macro sponsoring that. Now in our main event area, we have a huge 40-foot by 140-foot tent with small sponsors around it. And then our big metal detecting companies will be right around the outside of the event. We'll have a map and everything, and all that information will come closer to the event. But everybody will be informed one way or the other, either via email, our website, or our Facebook page.
So
Very good. I might make it myself.
There we
If I'm
go.
not all
Excellent.
screwed up once I get back from England.
yeah, you need to go, Jeff, and get some colonial coins or something.
Yeah, I'll
There
find
you go.
a gold coin for you, Phil. Of course, I'm going to find your gold coin when I'm in England. So.
Yes. Now, Pete, we ask everybody, have you found a gold coin?
I found 3.
In the U.S. or in?
Yeah, all 3 are U.S. And then I also have something that not very many. I'm in a very elite club. I also have a 1652 pine tree shilling. So if you know rare coins, that's one of the rarest you can find in the United States. And I got myself one found in Rhode Island a couple years back now.
Is that the oldest coin you found here in New York?
No, I've been to England, so I found Roman and stuff like that. I've got a Roman denarii, silver denarii. I've got a couple of other, great old coins from England. But that is the oldest U.S. based coin, that I've ever found.
What kind of value do you think that has?
Mine was one of 13 known for that variety, and I think it was estimated somewhere around $10,000.
Oh, that's awesome. So you could
Well, we just had somebody just said they just bought tickets for themselves.
I just saw it. I just saw it come up. Ocala, Florida.
That's Rose and Arthur.
Yes.
Yep.
And Arthur swings the Tachi.
Excellent.
And Rose, I know she's got a Fisher, and she also has a Vanquish because she won.
Oh, great.
And,
She won a
great people.
Show.
And I don't know. Has Tarsace contacted you about being up there?
We haven't. No, we haven't had any contact from them yet. Like I said, we're still reaching out to some. We have a couple of smaller vendor spaces that we're looking to fill, and we're always looking for people who are interested. We actually have a page right up on our website that says, want to become a sponsor. You basically send your information to us. We'll get in contact with you. And we love partnering with new companies or companies that are innovative, that have interesting products that might relate to something we do. So if anybody's interested or they have an idea, feel free to give me a shout through our email or the form on our website, and we'll be happy to have a chat.
Well, Dimitar from Tarsace will be with us next week. So,
Excellent.
Tune in and check him out and see.
Yeah, he's got some cool products. I saw his detector when Arthur brought it by the shop. So
Excellent.
it's impressive. It is. So, but Jeff, I think we're getting our hours just
It's
flew
up.
by.
Yep, it often does. It often does. So why don't you go with your goodbyes and thank you very much, as Philip.
I will do. Well, Pete, thank you for being on the show here and putting a Digstock on. And I'm sure a lot of our members are going to be buying tickets, as you saw somebody just did. Yeah, that's awesome. We like to support each other, and that's great. So thank you, Pete, for being on here, and Jeff, thank you, my friend, for doing what you do, and Jocelyn, thank you for handing me all the questions and keeping me going. She keeps the
The
ball.
show going.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys, both of you, for letting me be on the show. I'm really happy that you guys did this. I love getting out, supporting other treasure hunters in the area and all across the United States and the world, really. So thank you again for having me on, and I look forward to maybe seeing you guys in the future.
You betcha. And Pete, again, I want to say thank you for taking time out tonight to enlighten all our folks about this fantastic hunt that you got coming up. I hope they all attend. I hope I'll be able to attend. And I want to let everybody know that next Monday night, Dimitar Gargov, the owner, inventor of Tarsace metal detectors, is going to be our guest. He'll be in the house, and he's going to tell us all about the Tarsace product. And Phil has seen it. He likes it. So you never know. So everybody, we want to thank you for tuning in. Be happy, dig deeper, and we'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Absolutely, my friends. Thank you.
Have a good night.
See you on Friday.